Welcome, guys, to LA Sports Weekly pregame show. Myself, Fredo Cervantes, and I got Mr.
Michael Matthew here, and you guys know what's going down tonight. Part 2. You have the dream, you have the sparks, but this time here in LA, hopefully we see something different, Fredo.
No, definitely. We are looking for an amazing showdown tonight. It's back after a 3-game losing streak on the road for the LA Sparks, losing 2 in Chicago, 1 in Atlanta. Now they get a chance to face Atlanta here today. Earlier today during the press conference, we got a chance to talk to Coach.
Yep.
Coach came out and said, I got a chance to ask him, like, hey, look, in your last 10 games, you're 3-7. Your defense has allowed about 82 points per game.
Yep.
What can you do differently? What do you miss? He did, mention, he said, I wish we had our guards.
Yeah.
But he was excited to have Jordin Canada back on the court tonight. What are the Sparks going to look like with Canada now back on the floor here?
They're going to have their floor general back. They're going to have their point guard, the person who gets the offense set, who gives them some tempo. We saw last game. They tried to run it with Destiny. She don't know enough of the playbook, so it was tough, especially for the wing players. Now Jordin is here. Everybody can fall back into their places, so it's big that she's back because they really need this victory. They really need to start picking up some wins because the season can easily be lost, with a tough losing streak here. So hopefully with Jordin here playing tonight, they're able to pick up, a big victory for them.
No, definitely, and as well, we had Dearica Hamby, who is someone I'm always talking about, Dearica Hamby, and as well Karlie Samuelson. Both of them came out during the press conference as well. They were talking about, hey, you know what, the season's not done yet. We still got a little bit more work to do. They want to try to stay more consistent out on the out on the court. So, let's go ahead and kick it off for everyone to go ahead and check out what Karlie Samuelson and Dearica Hamby and Coach had to say.
Good evening, Coach.
Hi, John.
How's it going?
It's going.
All right. Well, second time you've been playing this team in just a matter of days. Obviously, the first time didn't go the way you wanted. How do you want your team to approach this game knowing that the last game went the way it went?
Yeah, I think, big picture-wise, step back up and compete. Disappointed. It all started, in transition for us. Our transition defense wasn't good enough. We didn't play hard enough. We didn't communicate well enough. A team that just put us on our heels in that transition. They scored over 30 points in transition alone. They scored over 30 points on one-on-one. One-on-one pride where they didn't need an action. They didn't need a screen. They just, competed one-on-one and made some great plays. That's over 70 points in transition and one-on-one, before you can even get to their playbook. So it all starts tonight with our compete, our want to, how hard are we going to get back. It doesn't matter if you have 8 players, 9 players. I'm resigned to the fact that we may never play with 11 players this year, the way this season's going. So it doesn't matter if we have 8 players. We've got to play hard and try to, create the foundation and a culture that we want to rely on from years from now.
Coach, you mentioned, what the team can do to improve and change the tide versus the dream tonight. Ryan Howard was what you talked about so much, a 3-level scorer, right? She was attacking the paint. She was converting on those, hitting from the mid-range, hitting from the elbow. She was 50% from 3, and she was perfect from the charity line. What are some things the team can do collectively to kind of slow her down so she doesn't have, the kind of production she had on Sunday?
Yeah, again, she had a great night, so you give a lot of credit to her. She made a lot of difficult one-on-one plays. So, it wasn't all poor defense. We threw a lot of people at her. Obviously, it hurts when your starting wings are out. We're limited, and on top of our starting wings, our, best on-ball defender, Jordin Canada, is out. So your 3 starting guards are out, and now you're guarding an electric backcourt for them. So, we're going to scheme. We're going to throw different things at them. Again, it all starts in transition. Nice to have Jordin back. So you have one of the premier defenders in the league back tonight. But at the same time, she can't guard all 3 of the guards. So, we've just got to have a better night. One-on-one, we've got to have a better night in transition.
And Annika with the LA Times? Yeah, you might have touched on this already, talking about focusing on transition defense and wrapping that back up. But what are some other things that you think the team has learned over the past few games on the road?
I think what you learn is, it doesn't matter how many injuries you have. There's still a fine line between winning and losing this league. You essentially look at our opening day roster. We had 4 people out from our opening day starting lineup, 4 starters out, and we nearly scored 30 points in the first quarter. So you can still be effective. You can still attack these people, other teams, regardless of our injury and illness situation. We can still have some success. And again, we're major underdogs in all these games, so we can play carefree and loose. And the disappointing thing, I felt like we got down and we felt a little sorry for ourselves. It was the first time I thought we felt a little sorry for ourselves with all our injuries and illness as things started to, get away from us in Atlanta. We've got to get back to just fighting and not worry about results and just control what we can control and try to get better, with the things that we do. Like our execution on both sides of the ball should be a focus and not result. We understand the situation you're in. There's very few teams at any level that you take 4 starters out are expected to win games.
Coach, just wondering, with some of the lack of cohesion you've talked about, how much have you had to simplify what would your ideal scheme be, the way that you can get players to grow into the thing that you want to be kind of the staple of the way that your teams play?
Yeah, certainly, just talked about that minutes ago with the staff, that the playbook has shrunk, trying to keep things simple on the offensive side. Again, you have, with Jordin out last game, Destiny Henderson is a hardship player that's practiced less than 5 times with the Sparks, never with a full roster. So we have to keep things simple. And so the playbook has shrunk at the offensive end for sure. Defensively, while we still believe heavily in our preparation and scouting, a multifaceted approach and what we so much believe in and what's been a staple for my tenure in the league has also shrunk, not as dramatically as the offensive side, but certainly we're trying to keep things less multifaceted and trying to keep people on the same page. Again, it's hard because we're not getting any practice with healthy people, and then when you finally do get to practice, you've extended minutes on the players that are healthy, and so you're really cognizant of not overdoing practice. So what is hard for everybody to understand with injuries is it's glaring on game nights, but it all has a domino effect of everything else you're trying to do, because even when you get to practice, now there's 4 people that probably just played 32 to 35 minutes or more, and now you're asking them, hey, we need to practice because we need more experience with some of these people that don't get practice. And, they're looking at you going, 10 hours ago, 12 hours ago, I just got done playing 35 minutes. So it's not easy, and it takes a toll on so much more than game nights.
Back here, Coach. As far as Henny goes, sort of along those lines, where have you seen her be able to thrive offensively? We've seen her had a couple of nights where she scored the ball effectively. And which ways do you see her kind of igniting you on that end and having success on that end?
Yeah, I think Henny's been best in transition, and Henny's been best early in the clock. As we get into the playbook, obviously she's finding her place and finding a rhythm where she can be successful, but she can really help our tempo. She can help in transition. She can help early in the shot clock. Her growth area, running our team, that's hard. It's a hard ask right now with not a lot of practice. And then late in clocks, finding success late in the clock, playing out of different shapes at that point.
Hey, Coach, Fredo Cervantes here with Infinity TV. You're 3-7 in your last 10 games here. Your opponents are, averaging about 81 points a game against the Sparks. What did you look at in the last 3 games? Because it seemed like things were working in the last 2 games of the last homestand, and the next 3 games on the road just didn't seem like it was the same. What was different there?
Yeah, I think, when you look at that road swing, Chicago has one of the best collection of guards. Atlanta has one of the best collection of guards. Our backcourt is decimated with illness and injury. We're 2-6 since Lexi hasn't played. We're 2-6 since Lexi hasn't played. We played without one of the premier defenders last game against an electric backcourt. So opening night, your wings were Lexi and Leja, and they have now missed a ton of games. It's no secret that road trip we played against really good backcourts. You have Mabry, Courtney Williams, who got on track against us, and Kalia Copper, one of the premier guards in the league. Then you look at Howard and Gray, who are all-stars. Howard isn't an all-star, but she's an all-star level player. You look at that backcourt, that's a tough ask for healthy teams. And of course, really tough for us when we're really down in numbers at the guards, especially.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Karlie, just can you talk a little bit about the matchup? What are some of the difficulties that both Howard and Gray kind of present, in addition to their length, on the offensive end when you're defending?
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta, they're big, like you said, and they're really good one-on-one players, and Atlanta plays a lot of one-on-one. So that's the difficult matchup. They're both pretty versatile. Ryan's obviously very gifted and can score a lot, and Alicia's really explosive. So just being ready to defend like your yard, because they are good one-on-one players.
This could be for both you guys. Coach just talked about, with all the various illnesses and injuries, you've had to simplify the scheme a little bit. But just wondered, what are the kind of the primary points of emphasis that he's been preaching, offense and defense, and that would go into this game too?
I would say we've been really focusing on trying to get relocked back in on defense. We were last in transition, and it's kind of embarrassing, especially because we're not really good at offensive rebounding also. So just focusing on building the blocks and the basics to kind of hopefully improve that. And the first thing we talked about, like intangible that you can kind of judge, is like, are you springing back? In Atlanta, I mean, it was hot in that gym, but we were jogging back. It's not okay.
Questions for Dearica here. You've had a few double-doubles here, and it seems like your production has gone up, and your minutes have gone up, and the impact you've had on the team has continued to improve as the season's gone along. How do you feel you are now compared to the start of the season, and where are you compared to where you want to be ultimately?
I would say, I was just now supposed to be back working out. That was kind of the plan once I gave birth, that I came up with KB and Curt, and we were talking about All-Star being me back on the court and just returning to the first game, the 20th. So I just try to give myself a little bit of grace. I'm hard on myself at times, but I know what I've been through this last 5 or 6 months, and just coming back from pregnancy. It's encouraging. I'm doing what I'm doing, and I still am not where I'm gonna be.
This question's for both of you. First of all, how you doing? And then second of all, how do you approach playing the same team that you just played a couple of days ago when the game didn't go the way you want and you didn't get anything close to the type of results you want?
Yeah, I mean, every game is a different story. So, the course of that game, we ended up losing by a lot, and Ryan scored 43. So, I like playing the same team again, especially after that. We're definitely going to put out a better showing. But just adjusting and watching the film, and, it doesn't sit right to lose to them and sit with it for a long time. So it's kind of nice that we get to play quickly.
Fredo Cervantes here with Infinity TV. This is for both of you too. Knowing that we're almost halfway through the season and we're about to take the All-Star break, what have you guys taken so far out of the first part of the season that maybe you can change around and do better in the second part of the season?
I mean, we can be healthy, and I know that's not, completely in our control, but I think what this team has done a good job of is just, staying encouraged with each other in our locker room. Nobody's pointing fingers or, fighting with each other, picking with each other. So that's very encouraging, and like I said, we haven't had this roster complete for more than maybe 2 or 3 games, so, JC's getting healthy. She's back. Obviously, Lexi's coming back, and Lasia will be back soon also. So it's encouraging to know, we're nowhere where we want to be, but we haven't had our team together.
Dearica, anything? Yeah, I guess in general, how does it feel being back after being on the road for 3 games?
Yeah,
It's
it
nice.
feels good. Yeah, that was our first longer road trip, so.
Obviously, it didn't. We went 0-3, so nice to be home in front of your fans and sleeping in your own bed, kind of doing the things that you would normally do in a routine. So it's nice.
Anybody else? Oh, Rashawn.
Having so much time, I know training camp, you became a really closely knit group very quickly. What type of bonding things were you able to do on this last trip?
It was pretty smoky in Chicago, like outside, so we stayed from the fires in Canada, I think, so we kind of stayed inside. We had like a nice couple days just in the lobby of the hotel.
Yeah, hang out in the lobby.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say we do like actual team bonding things. I think it's just the character of all the girls, in the locker room.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jill.
And we're back here on the LA Sparks Weekly pregame show. Myself, Fredo Cervantes, Michael Matthew. Michael, tell me a little bit about what your predictions are for tonight. You've seen a little bit of the Sparks over the last 3 games, what they were able to do on the losing streak. What can they do, and what's your prediction that, LA Sparks might be able to do today?
Man, I think this is going to be a much better game for them. Like, they're able to come home, sleep in their beds. They always talk about that. You get Jordin Canada back. She's going to be able to lead them, like I said earlier. And, I think the guards are going to play much better. The last game, the bigs played wonderful, right? But it was all about the guard struggles. Now with Jordin Canada back, I believe that the Sparks are going to be able, Fredo, should I say, to pull out a victory.
Wow.
I think the Sparks end their losing streak today. Nneka, Dearica, Hamby, Azura, they realize that they can score inside. They're going to be ready to go. So I got the Sparks tonight, baby.
Oh, that's pretty good because the last time we were here, they won. So, they faced the Dallas Wings. So it was a very good victory. But, that's Michael's prediction. And, of course, we'll catch up with you guys later on in the game.
Yeah, tonight, certainly while the end result is never what you like, there were some victories along the way. And, really proud of our team with the character tonight coming out of the locker room in the second half. A team shot 60% on us in the first half, held them to 39% in the second half, had it to 5, and they went on a 13-2 run. They get it back to 16, essentially. The end result has now been decided. A lot of less character teams would go away, and a loss by 30 tonight. We made another run at them and just kept fighting and scratching and clawing. We challenged them at halftime, and, to hold that talented team to 39% shooting in the second half is a victory and something we can build on. Big games by Azura and Nneka, 2 double-doubles. Again, moving Azura back to her natural position at the 4 has really been effective for us. She's been in double figures every night, and it just looks more comfortable in her natural position, her highs in both points and rebounds in a Sparks uniform. Nneka moved into 19th place all-time in scoring in league history, passing Lindsay Whalen tonight. Just, again, her decorated career, just every night it seems like she's setting another milestone and carrying a big burden with us down in numbers so much this year. So while the end result, there's no moral victories in a professional league, there's a lot of victories tonight for us, and none more than the character that they showed coming out of the locker room.
Coach, as you're trying to find some kind of, combination that works out there these past couple of games, even in game, with the loss of Karlie today, I guess, just how difficult has that been, and just, what's kind of gone into that, just trying to find.
Yeah, we've talked about how, our two starting wings have been now out for a significant amount of games. And now Karlie, who's probably been the most consistent wing, for us this whole season, and the leader in the entire league in three-point shooting, goes down with an injury. So, it's just it's a mash unit. So trying to figure out if someone could get hot, someone giving us energy at the defensive end, and help us. It's just we're limited on options. We went back with our big lineup at times tonight. So, it's the hardest thing. We're starting with 9. Most games we've played with 8 in this stretch. Ray Burrell played with strep throat tonight, and she could have sat out. We could have been back at 8. So it's uncanny what's happening to us, and I'm proud of them still.
Curt, speaking of Burrell tonight, her, Stevens, and also Cook, I thought they did an immaculate job in the second half to get you guys back in the game. What impressed you the most about those 3 tonight? The way they played?
Yeah, one of the subtle things within, the games within the game, they executed after timeouts really well tonight. They executed, on those ATO situations. We ran a play out of a timeout specifically for Ray to get a 3. We executed it. She makes it. We run another play for Ray to get a lane to the basket out of a timeout. We get her to the rim. Not only did she step up and make those 2 plays, but the entire team executed plays that we don't, run all the time. So, appreciate that. Zaya hunts her offense. Never have to worry about Zaya hunting offense. And again, she's streaky. She's finding her way. She'll be the first one to tell you she's disappointed with her shooting percentages. But she's a talented offensive player, and we've got to let her have some rope. At the same time, finding her offense when she can, because she's a talented offensive player. So, again, these guys are going against all-stars. These guys are going against Olympians. These guys are going against, really, really talented, the best of the best in this league, night in and night out, and they're just still trying to find their footing. So, every one of these opportunities is a great learning lesson for young pros. Ray is essentially, she's a hardship player, but she's essentially a rookie. I mean, basically her entire rookie season was cut short. So she's truly a rookie. Zaya's a rookie. Destiny's, hardship player. Like, think about the guards that we're, throwing out there against Olympians and really talented players. So I'm proud that they're competing and fighting. It's hard to have success over 40 minutes.
Coach, we know you've been dealing with a lot, your team with illness of Lexi, injury to Lasia. It looks like the front court players have kind of figured it out with Azura, like you said, playing at the 4. What can you do as a coach to kind of help the guard play improve?
Get healthy. I don't know how many times we have to talk about this. Like, we have players that weren't on opening day rosters now playing. Destiny played double-figure minutes. Ray played almost 17 minutes. We're asking Zaya to play 22 minutes tonight. It is what it is. And until we can get back to full strength, it's going to be, just great learning lessons for these guys.
Amani Wright from Winsider, head coach. My question for you is, in terms of Karlie, what exactly happened, and is she going to be able to come back soon? Like, what's her timeline looking like?
I don't have all the details yet. Obviously, she was held out for precautionary reasons. She took a step and it didn't feel well. She has a foot injury that needs to be x-rayed. Other than that, we'll have to wait and see the results. Our locker room is concerned. Let me put it that way.
Thank you. John?
Coach, before the game, you said that you wanted to see your team compete especially after losing to this same team by 28 points just a couple days ago. You kind of talked about in your opening statement, but how would you grade the way that they competed in this game?
Yeah, I thought, the first half certainly, didn't, especially the first quarter. I didn't think that we had the competitiveness to be able to be successful against a team like that. We showed a lot of character and stepped that up the last 3 quarters. But when we were able to regroup at halftime and talk about it, again, we cut it to 5, got the crowd into it. It was a fun moment. They, responded and had a run of their own. But we didn't go away. We kept hanging in there even after that 13-2 run back at us. So, really, really proud. And that was the message afterwards, that they showed a lot of character. They, really showed a togetherness and a toughness, that there was more fight in them. And it was good to see. I think that is something we can really grow from and learn from. Again, it may not all come together this year with everything that we're dealing with, but these moments go a long way 2 or 3 years down the road from now.
How do you get that fight in the first quarter?
Yeah, I mean, that's the question, right? Like, how we have to be hungry, we have to be ready right from the beginning. And again, that's our challenge right now. And again, our veteran leaders have to be a big part of that.
Last question, Fredo.
Fredo Cervantes here with Infinity TV. Coach, Zaya there's 3rd game straight she scored in double digits, and she's looking a little more comfortable out there. I see her teammates out there talking to her all the time. What are you going to maybe talk to her about moving into the second half to try to give her a nice, strong finish to her rookie season?
Yeah, I think the same thing that you watch Zaya's career at South Carolina. What was impressive about the senior year wasn't that she was the leading scorer on arguably the best team in the country for most of the year, was her efficiency went up. And again, Zaya can get shots off. Doesn't mean they're always good shots. So, Zaya's learning opportunities is to try to find ways to be efficient at this level. And there's at times when you have to move it, and you wasn't your possession to get a shot instead of taking a bad shot. Again, with NECA on the floor, the post group that we have, especially if we can get Chene back and be a 4-headed monster of post play. We don't talk about Chene, but she's arguably our best help post defender. Really intelligent basketball player, so we miss her. But, Zaya just needs to move it at times because she can find her offense. And, again, you see it, what kind of an offensive spark she can be off the bench. She can find ways to score. Her growth area is at the defensive end. It is a challenge every night against these guards. We were in Chicago for the road trip, and it's Mabry, Courtney Williams, and Kalia Copper, and then you go play back-to-back games against Atlanta, and it's Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray, who both could be Olympians, and so, it's great opportunity. Like, she has to take this as fun learning opportunities, right? Now she gets to go guard Diana. So, so all fun, and we know how Diana thinks about rookies.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Everybody knows that Azura had a season high in points tonight with 16 and rebounds with 12.
And 5 fouls.
Let's start with Amani right here.
Hi, Amani right from Winsider. Azure, for you, how has it been these last couple of games playing in the 4?
Yeah, it's been really great. I feel really comfortable. It's a natural position for me, and I just feel like I'm really in stride and flow and really helping my team the best that I can. So it feels awesome.
Jordin, I was going to ask about your shoulder, and I can see it's your icing it right now. But how is it right now?
It's fine.
Just
Yeah, it's fine.
any percentage that you want to give it? No.
I would say it's at 90%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ladies, what can you guys do? Like the past few games, you guys had slow starts defensively. They scored, I believe, 34 the last game. In this game, 29-16. What can you guys do to start things off much faster?
I think just continue to look at film and stay together. We're best when we stay together, and I think all the other quarters we saw, we rallied back, and we're getting in the flow. We have a lot of injuries right now. We have a lot of adversity, and I think we can see like different lineups are clicking, and we're all getting on the same page. So just continue to go back to the film and see where we can improve, and just keep building together.
Jordin, LT was TG Sports. What are some of the things that you're sharing with Zia Cook about her game, words of encouragement you've been sharing with her lately?
I just want her to be aggressive. I feel like, sometimes she can kind of be in her head being out there, and I just want her to play freely, honestly. And I think, tonight she kind of did that with being aggressive and just getting back to her old self. So I just try to encourage her to just be aggressive on the offensive end, take her shots, and then defensively try to challenge her with whoever she's guarding to bring that ball pressure and that energy. I thought, she did a good job tonight of getting to her spots and attacking the paint and, being aggressive on the ball. So, anything that what requires of the game in that moment and who we're playing, I tried to give her, some tips throughout the game and even before, but mostly for her to just play freely and stay aggressive.
Hey ladies, DJ Tracy and Fantasy TV. We just watched a really electric game. So can you tell us a little bit about what's the team mentality going into today's game and just bringing out that awesome energy?
Yeah, I mean, we watched the film and we weren't proud of like how we played on the road. So we had to really all just take pride within ourselves and as a collective unit just to bring energy. Like a lot of times like we're seeing in film, it's not really the coverage, it's just the energy that we come out with. And so I think all of us really try to channel that, and we hope you guys can feel that even though we lost. But I think it's a good sign that we're bringing good energy and everything's starting to click. Like it's going to be good for us.
Jordin, how you doing? Steve Finley from the Culver City News, Culver City Observer. What do you tell your team that as a veteran, what do you tell your team when they're hit with all these injuries and all these, you guys are having a lot of problems right now. What do you say?
Next man up. I mean, that's that mentality that we have to have. And, everybody has stepped up these last couple of games with injuries and just dealing with a lot of adversity. But we all have that mentality that it's the next person up. Everybody has to stay ready because you never know when your number is going to get called. And, I think we have done a good job. We just got to, stay consistent and stay together and, try to figure out a way where we could come out a little bit more sharp in the first quarter because, as you can see, like the last 3 quarters, we, tied them and outscored them. So we just got to figure out a way to come out more sharp. But, yeah, everybody's locked in. Everybody understands that, if one person goes down, another person comes in and steps up.
For Azura, the 3 big lineup that you guys run at times, yourself, Dearica, NECA, you went back to it at times in today's game. I know you mentioned, you're really comfortable playing at the 4, that's your natural position. But when you run that 3 big lineup, just kind of what's your comfort level out there with that group? And, what are you seeing? What's working? And how can that, play a factor as the season goes on?
Yeah, I think... we use it to exploit mismatches, and we're really trying to find those more with a bigger lineup. I think it's awesome that we can do that. We can see that around the league, a lot of different teams are doing it, so we're getting reps at it, and we're just getting more comfortable. And, it's hard with our schedule right now. We're traveling a lot, so we don't get a lot of reps doing it. But in the game, I think we can see, like, we're getting more flow with that bigger lineup so that, if Coach wants to use it, we'll have it readily available. But I think when we have that lineup, it's really just about exploiting the mismatch and just using our length. We're so big when we have all three of us post players in there, and I think we can really use that to our advantage.
Any other questions? John?
After losing the previous game to them by 28 and then being down by 15 and 17 and 20 sometimes in this game, how would you kind of grade the way the team competed for all 40 minutes tonight against this Dream team?
We fought back. I think everyone could see that. We had some fight and some oomph to, how we played, and I don't think we had that in the last game. So that's improvement. And that's what it's all about, is continuing to get better. That's what we're all focusing on as a unit and an organization, is continuing to get better. And we saw that tonight. Yeah, we lost, but we fought, and that's really important. Thanks, guys.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live for your LA Sparks Weekly post-game show. Of course, you know myself, Fredo Cervantes, and we got the one and only
DJ Treese in the building, y'all. Thanks for having me back.
And I don't have much to say, but Michael Matthew here. Another tough loss for the Sparks. They got to figure some stuff out, but health and illnesses is part of it. But damn, everything's looking tough right now.
Yes, definitely it's looking tough right now with the LA Sparks currently on the 4-game losing streak, dropping 2 in Chicago and 2 against Atlanta with the 90-79 victory for Atlanta. I mean, DJ, talk to me. What did you see out here today?
I saw a lot of positive things. Now,
Okay.
the last show we
Sounded
talked
a little bit
about,
like Coach there.
Yes, absolutely. The last show we talked about effort, y'all. We talked about grit. We talked about going the extra mile. We talked about getting our field goal percentage up. And all of those things happened. We just didn't get the win. So if we focus on some of the positives, we changing the momentum and we are swinging here. It's like we missed our ladies, right?
Yes,
we glad
yes.
they are back at home.
Right.
There were some positive things we could take out
No,
of there.
definitely. And one of the positive things that I did get a chance to see is Zia Cook. You know, this is her 3rd game consecutive being in double-digit scoring, which is something unusual. We have not seen from Zia since game 1 against the Mercury, where she, lit it up. Then afterwards, it just seemed to kind of fall down a little bit. But, what are you going to talk about now, Mike? How, we talked a little bit earlier about your prediction. It seemed like your prediction was almost there. Not all the way.
Not all the way, so I'm very disappointed. Just on the defensive side, like, you guys can be happy right now. 4 straight losses isn't great. They're coming out very flat, 29-16 at the end of the first quarter. The last game, they gave up 34 points. I don't know what's going on defensively. I remember being here last year, and the complaint was that they can't score. They're great defensively. This year, they're struggling to score, and they're struggling to play good defense. You want to see improvement, but the only thing that gives this team a pass is that, hey, people are sick, people are injured, so, you don't have your best players. Coach said it in the press conference when it comes to the wing players. Hey, we just don't have our players, but, hey, you got to work with what you got, and they're just not giving the effort to start the games. And against a team like the Dream, if you don't come out early, they will attack you right away, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, one player that did come out pretty strong tonight again, Nneka Ogwumike, who is going to be making another All-Star appearance in about a week and a half in Las Vegas. She came out tonight, 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists. DJ, Nneka, I mean, we can't ask her to do any more.
You can't.
We can't, but what can we ask her to do?
I think we can ask her to be a little bit more of a leader here, and that's what Coach was talking about, right? We need to see Nneka running the floor a little bit more and being our floor general and giving our rookies a little bit more of the competitive edge, because we know it's going to be a learning curve, right? Coach said it best. These are tough learning moments, but if we can get our veterans out there to help our rookies and just kind of guide them, I think it would cut a little bit of that time off of the edge.
I mean, there's one veteran in Jasmine Thomas. Jasmine Thomas playing 14 points and, 3 points. 14 minutes. Yeah, 14 minutes. Let me correct that. Yeah. Michael knows that one, right? The 3 points, 1 assist, no rebounds. She shot 1 for 4 from 3. Again, of course, it seems like that shot is not consistently there for her this year.
I've been saying it. Let the young ladies play. We need to see more Ray. Ray comes in, gets some nice burn in the fourth quarter, 7 points. She looks like a spark, but at the beginning of the game, she doesn't play. We don't know what's going on with Karlie.
Right.
Prayers out to her. Hopefully everything is okay. But even then with her, she starts the game off, plays the first 14 minutes, no sub for her. It's like Coach really needs to find out a rotation to get some of these players going. Having Jasmine right now in the starting lineup is not cutting it. She shouldn't be in the starting lineup. So we're going to see what he's going to do going forward on Sunday when they match up against Phoenix, who they open the season against with a W. Hopefully he comes out with a brand new looking starting lineup, because it's on him. I know the players come out flat, but it's on him to say, hey, our starting lineup isn't playing well. Let me try something new. And it's going to be on Coach Miller to figure out a new starting lineup and a better rotation to get the best out of his players.
Well, of course, they are facing the Phoenix Mercury, who have only won 3 games all year long. So is that something to look forward to this Saturday night?
They got DT over there. Diana is coming to work. Brittany Griner also are coming to work. So it's not going to be an easy game for the Sparks. They're going to have to show up and play.
Right.
But I think a player that I'm excited about, what she's doing, which is DJ's player of the game, which I'm going to let her take it away because this player is playing some great basketball, and if she can keep it up, hey, man, look out as far as her finishing the season real strong. Who's the player of the game today?
Hey, my player of the game is Azura Stevens, y'all. We talked about it in the last episode, but today Azura came with the energy. She also added the scoring, stretched the floor. She's looking really good at that 4, but that energy, that grit. She was out here hollering. She got the putback. She got some offensive rebounds. So Azura is my player of the game.
No, definitely. Tonight, 16 points. She had 12 rebounds as well. She was very effective out there. And as well, Jordin Canada, even though she missed the last game over in Atlanta, she was able to get back on the floor tonight, 13 points as well, 7 assists for her. She is the leading assist since last year as well. Jordin Canada was in the postgame conference with us, and she always seems to be in the same level. She's so polite, very calm and relaxed. She gives some very good answers, but at times she's just very much focused, looking forward for the next game. She's just I kind of want to get rid of this game, just move on to the next one in some sort of way. But, right now it is almost, what time is it right now? We can't even see the time in here, but it is getting pretty late. We're the last ones in Crypto.com arena. Michael, give us your last minute thoughts on what we can look forward for the Phoenix Mercury this upcoming week.
Man, first you got to see what's going on with Karlie. She's not going to play, so you lose a shooter.
Another one.
But I think you find ways to give more of these young ladies minutes, which will give them more athleticism. The offense is looking solid to me. It's just on the defensive end, getting stops. So now hopefully with more athleticism, you see more Ray. Zaya is starting to pick it up. We're going to see hopefully a little more Destiny. They're going to play some defense. Phoenix has really struggled other than their 2 players. So that's going to give. They still got Sophie Cunningham over there. But I think that the Sparks can finally get back to their winning ways, pick up a victory. But it's really going to matter on the defensive end, and that's where I'm going to be looking at them.
DJ?
For me, I feel like we need to box out Brittany Griner. We need to limit Diana Taurasi inside of the paint, and if we can do that, we can scrap our way to a win, and then that would feel good for the team, and then that would start to turn the momentum there. So of course we need to shoot a little bit better. Honestly, we need some better field goal attempts. So if we shoot a little bit better and can limit those 2 players, I think we can squeeze by and beat Phoenix.
They better win on Sunday because the Aces will be here next Wednesday, and that's going to be a long night.
Yes, it's definitely going to be. The Las Vegas Aces will be back here at Crypto.com Arena a week from tonight. That's going to be a very exciting game because it is the last game before the All-Star break. So everyone's going to be pretty much excited to go ahead and get this game over with and head on to Vegas for some of the people. But Dearica Hamby, for me, is the person that really needs to step up tonight. She didn't have the best game of her life today. She, had a typical 5-point game, which is, you say this all the time, Michael. This is like Lamar Odom, and at times she looks out there, she looks tired. I feel like she looks a little tired. One thing Coach did mention earlier in the pregame was that Dearica was actually scheduled to make her debut around this time right now. So she's actually way ahead of schedule right now. So that's a good thing for her, but that can actually show you why the struggles are going in and out all the time, a.k.a. Lamar Odom. But
she's going to kick it into high gear, though. I think she's going to find that cheat code, and all of a sudden it's 20 a game.
That's what we all want here in Los Angeles for the LA Sparks to kill this 4-game losing streak they are currently in right now. Of course, we will see you guys on Sunday live from the Infinity Studios as we bring you your post-game show with live coverage and analysis with Michael, DJ, and myself, Fredo Cervantes. And DJ, kick it off.
Wait, what am I kicking off?
Kick it off. We're out of here.
Are we out? All right.
Kick
bye.
the camera.
I was like, what?
Kick
All right, see y'all.